a donut, friend. It's donut time, baby!
大招踩到了4个，但是皮还在对面之上，
基本上没有突破环境了。
对面好像还不活，被铁锤死了。诺瓦直接敲出来，今天恭喜雷奎，恭喜雷奎，拿到了本届Super Major的冠军。
世界游戏主办的2018 CSGO 亚洲邀请赛。
大巴蒂，鬼王爷换烟打3个。
恭喜拿命，获得这次 CDEC 亚洲邀请赛的冠军。
第二条率有没有锤？还传一下，传一下，
一个要再走。
这样，这一场老分店是不是已经没有什么机会了？
恭喜你们 SAG，
恭喜你们 SAG 拿到了DPC亚洲邀请赛的一个冠军。
我估计 Works 这个都没有想到。他以为在闭门，站起来和保迪打下了这个不可思议的残局。
我到底有个什么东西？这是开人的吗？我又要提这个问题，3胜！恭喜 Monster！ 恭喜 Monster！ 2-0。战胜了来自于芬兰的Major亚军
Welcome to the International.
好像有点创造不了奇迹，扔在飞机脸上，又是秒被带走，
直接打出了奇迹。
By your side, sway me with your tide. We've got a tempest inside. Rain, thunder, ocean. Scores are
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another day of Dota here in the DPC Winter Tour for China Division 2. My name is Dragondrop. I'm joined by Snare for this first series of the day. Neptune Gaming versus Sparking Arrow Gaming. I would like to say that we expect this one to be great and fun Dota, and it might be fun Dota, but it might be a little bit one-sided if you just look at the current standings here, Snare. Why is that?
So the way it stands right now, let's start with the good news, right? Let's start with the good news. So the good news right now is that from this matchup, Sparking Arrow Gaming have a chance to go 2-2. Right now they're sitting at 1 and 2, not very high up in the margin. So they're really trying to get themselves up because the two teams that are playing right now are both bottom 3 teams. So you would assume, okay, the one team is 1 and 2. This could still be a fun game. Sparking Arrow Gaming still has to work for their reward here, but sadly, Neptune Gaming currently are 0-5. They have lost to practically everybody. The only team that they haven't taken on just yet is CDEC, and that'll happen in a little bit of time. However, as it stands right now, they have yet not even to win a single map, Dragondrop. Everything has been going awry. Everything has been going badly for them. Neptune Gaming coming into this has sort of become that team that you get free points off of. So despite the super cute cat ears that we see from Fonte, he and his team has not been having the luck that they really need to be able to progress in the upper division. And unfortunately, the way things are looking right now, it seems like they're almost guaranteed to find themselves being relegated from the lower division here in the Chinese DPC.
Yeah, it's not looking great, not by a long shot. As you said, not winning a single game. The other team that's true as well is CDC that you mentioned. That'll be happening on December 10th, CDC versus NG, the first game there, so at least one of these teams will come away with a win, but CDC have not played nearly as many games just yet. Their schedule is a little bit loaded towards the later half of this bracket. NG, as you said, almost all their matches done already. So we'll see where that one goes. Sparking Arrow Gaming also sitting at 1 and 2, but they've been visited. They've matched up with a couple of good teams already. Lost to Magma, lost to Shenzhen, who have been looking very strong. And then also 2-0 against CDC, but we're still expecting them to perform relatively well in this season. So we'll see if they can beat out the competition. We've been talking time and time again about how strong that competition is, even in Division 2 here in China. So. But yeah, let's talk about a draft, because that's some well-known heroes, but some very fun ones to watch. I mean, Mars Undying on the side of Neptune Gaming, so that's as scary as they come as far as offlanes go.
Yeah, it's a terrifying offlane, and we have seen in the past how, especially Mars in China, has been one of the most picked heroes, and often it is the case that it's picked for a reason, right? And often used very well to initiate the team fights. We've seen a lot of combinations with this. Undying, Snapfire are often ones that come to mind. Dark Willow is still in the pool as well to be played in the 4 position for Neptune Gaming, but Mars in general, in this region, I always feel terrified to see this hero. At the same time though, Sparking Arrow Gaming, they're making sure not just to buttress their vision control with this Hoodwink, get themselves a little break, but we've got this IO. We don't know what kind of IO strat it's going to be. Could be the IO Nightstalker that we've been seeing lately into the offlane. Could be IO Medusa. It could be IO Leshrac. There's so many different ways that you know that this hero can be played out. And historically, Dragondrop, this IO hero has not necessarily been super famous in China unless it's in broken patches. I don't think this is a broken IO patch, but it does speak to the nature of changing times that even here in the Chinese region, we recognize that, yo, if you want that early aggression for yourself, get yourself IO. Get this hero for you. Just do this. Do this for yourself. Treat yourself. Neptune Gaming is going to have a fun offlane with Mars Undying, but no matter what they do, Sparking Arrow Gaming are trying to set up to ensure that their offlane is just as strong. And one thing I like about how they've done this is they've also made sure to protect what the IO combination is going to be with the second phase of bans.
You kind of want something like that as Sparking Arrow are showing that very strong offlane that you would imagine between the IO and the Pangolier.
Pango.
Alright.
That's interesting. I do feel like this hero hasn't been picked as often as it should be lately. You know, not necessarily the flavor of the month support. It might have to do with the fact that everyone was playing it in every single game for so long. People got a little bit bored. And the hero isn't as OP as it used to be just a little while ago. However, you still do have the instant initiation against heroes like Pango, who really can turn a team fight around immediately if you don't manage to 100 to 0 him. you want to always have two things. You want burst and you want instant initiation. Lion gives you a little bit of both. Queen of Pain being on top of that also makes sure that you have the necessary burst. You know, we have seen the one thing that has been going okay for Neptune Gaming is that either Fonte or Waishian have a good game. It's been the case. They don't necessarily win them, but one of the two at least we get something happening in the earlier portion of things. And Queen of Pain, I think, is one of the heroes that we've seen Waishian do better than. You know, still hasn't been wins, but they've come a little bit closer to being able to achieve that with this hero. So do definitely like that. And also they have the option of a big AoE burst damage against an IO. So wherever the relocate comes into, you at least know that you'll have some degree of damage to start off the fight. But life gets hard. They pick Lifestealer. Yeah. When you have lots of magic damage, the team obviously will go in for some magic immunity to make sure that it's very difficult for you to reliably get that damage out onto these targets.
Yeah, unless he gets chain stunned, they might have a very hard time bringing him down. Even without that, like Io can still link up with him if necessary. Just add a bunch of attack speed too in the right circumstances. You can also do is the fancy 3-person relocate, like investing into somebody, Io linking up with them, and then getting 3 people across the map. So watch out for that for sure. Yeah, seems like a very stable pick here. Very strong laner generally against melee strength heroes like Mars and Undying. He should be able to hold his own because he can always rage up when he's threatened by the Mars spells. He can keep his health topped up even in the face of the decay spam from the Undying. So yeah, very much do like this pick on all fronts, honestly.
And you have, of course, the ability to just run down that tombstone. It's always important to have that ability in any given game. So with this Lifestealer, this feels like a much more difficult game all of a sudden right now for the side of Neptune Gaming. This last pick has to be a killer one, and they've made sure to protect it quite well by banning the TB and the Morph. This is a good Ursa pick, though. I actually really like this Ursa here for Fonte. Good against this Lifestealer. You can challenge the Pangolier in the lane. You later on in the game, they don't have that much disable on the side of Sparking Arrow Gaming. Each of their disables is extra valuable as a result. Therefore, Enrage is super good in this context. They didn't really have an easy way to take down Roshan before this. This gives you that. Their tower siege still isn't that great, but provided Mars and Ursa are around the tower, the two of them can siege the area and prepare to kill you in such a small span of time that you don't take the risk of diving tier 1s. And of course, they have access in this game to this Lion, Queen of Pain. So if Ursa ever gets a Blink Dagger or any kind of mobility, they have a lot of follow-up from this initiation that they can actually kill these heroes. I think of all the heroes that are left in the pool right now, this is probably the best one that they could have gotten, not just to allow them to scale into the late game, but to give them early game fighting prowess, which is we've often seen Neptune Gaming really fall apart, is the ability to do things in the mid game after the laning phase is broken up. A lot of these teams have just been running them over, but Ursa at least allows you to hold your ground in many respects directly up against these heroes from SAG.
Yeah. I was gonna say a similar thing. The one concern is that if you don't get that snowball rolling, so to speak, there are some ways for Sparking Arrow to counter that out. I mean, if Lifestealer gets so strong, then Ursa just straight up man fighting might not be as easy as we would hope it would be when all things being equal. And Sparking Arrow Gaming, they might not have the best lineup to kite around the Ursa, but it's not terrible either. You know, Wing spells with the Bushwhack at the right time, Io just healing people up, making sure that they can survive, Pangolier, some inherent mobility. Lifestealer also can get pretty damn fast at times, so all of these things worth keeping in mind. Lina as the last pick here, adding a lot of extra damage, pretty good matchup against most heroes in mid, including Queen of Pain, so you can rely on that. But if she does get jumped on, and there is a ton of jump on Neptune Gaming, then yeah, she better have some backup there to make sure that she survives.
Absolutely.
So, this is all guns facing forward kind of last pick. So SAG certainly confident in their ability to do well in the lanes and move on from there, I would think.
Yep. This is definitely not the kind of last pick you go for if you are nervous, if you don't believe you have the correct draft that you've gone for yourself. And one thing I love about picking Lina in this situation is Lina doesn't just give you that magic damage, doesn't just give you the ability to play the game a little bit faster, but she's also a secondary right clicker. If the game does get to the point where they feel that they need that additional set of damage, Lina is the kind of hero that can provide it for you. And it's not just Lina by herself here, drag and drop. It's Lina with the IO. I was wondering when I saw these picks, I was like, I still don't see the IO combo, you know, that one hero that you leash to and suddenly it's just amazing and incredible every single time. However, with IO here, D-Stones is going to have a magnificent run of game. Always going to have the ability to throw in lots and 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 lots of right clicks from afar. So it's going to be fun from D-Stones. I do think that he's going to be given the best game forward. So let's see how it goes here. As Son Goku already triggering up the tether here. I think after they just make sure that they win this bottom lane for flyby, they'd immediately see most of the time being spent with this IO around and in with this Lina to make sure that she's safe in the fights. Pango doesn't need that kind of help. It's nice for Pango and the Lifestealer, but it makes the Lina a killer in this game. And the reach that they have from the side of Neptune Gaming, they only have those Queen of Pain. You know, we'll get the Blink Daggers from the Lion and the Ursa at some point in the game. However, getting to the backlines of the fight, not the easiest thing for them. And there's also a lot of interruption from the Pangolier to just make it hard for them to make that movement to the backside of the fight. Sparking Arrow, I think, have all the tools necessary for success. I think they'll be fine.
Alright. Let's see if they can prove our assessment of their power levels wrong or correct, just depending on what team you're talking about. Certainly would hope that Neptune Gaming does not walk away with 0 wins out of an entire group stage bracket.
Oh,
not even a single map win. I mean, that would be quite sad. But to be honest, you'd wish them to at least some success, some bright light to make sure they continue on and try and improve going forward for the next season, which if they end up dropping out, of course, they would have to qualify again through the open qualifier.
Yep. Certainly not an easy thing to have to do, to drop down and have to start things from fresh, but let's see how they fare now as we get ourselves into the game. See this top lane, there's a Lifestealer being backed up by the IO, so they're not even really going to utilize the IO down bottom with flyby. They're instead to ensure that Lifestealer, they know that Lifestealer's lane against the Mars is decent enough. And they're like, well, the one thing he's afraid of on the side of the map is these early levels, there's a lot of harass potential between the Lion and the Mars. So let's get rid of that harass by giving him Tether. Yep. Between Tether and Feast, there's 0% chance that you'll ever feel threatened in this lane.
It doesn't mean that you don't have that IO support down in the bottom lane, but XCJ can... I mean, they both have sticks at this point already, right? Against the Undying spam, so you can rely on that. You can eventually, once you hit level 2, rely on the Swashbuckle. So there's still not a ton of kill potential for NG here. And as far as offlane supports go, Hoodwink is also just as annoying as Undying in some ways, really. Let's cast some Bushwhack.
Yeah.
So,
I think especially with Pango, like having Bushwhack with Shield Crash, Bushwhack with the Swashbuckle, either way, it's just not a great place to be, right? It sets you up for a really bad time to not enjoy yourself in the side of the map. Although, sadly, they can't really do much to stop Fonte from farming. There's a very big creep wave coming in. Flyby will try to deny as much of this as he can, but he also knows that this Ursa is just going to get his farm, provided Trasam stays around here. This is just going to be fun times for the Bear. And one of the nice things about being able to play the Bear in this situation is that Flyby knows that as these levels get higher and higher, he needs to start positioning a lot more carefully to ensure that he doesn't run into any deathly situation. But I also wanted to talk about this mid lane. D-Stones and Waishen here. Waishen, we are expecting to not have the best time, of course, because this is Lina. Like you mentioned, it's going to be a better matchup for her. But at the same time, Waishen's responsibility and where he can go on the map, there's a lot of great rotation options, right? We've seen a lot of times that Neptune Gaming run into this issue where they don't really have an easy way to involve Waishen on the map. This game, that's definitely not the case, right? Level 6 happens in the top lane and or just level 3 on Lion plus a 6 on Queen of Pain. That's 2 stuns with big burst, definite kill on top. Down bottom, they'll have the Tombstone ability with some massive slows to be able to get the burst this side. So potentially Flyby is the only person who will feel safe on the map when they want to make rotations. And speaking of Flyby, looks like they want this first blood here, Dragon Drop, but they're not going to find it. Everybody's fine.
Some nice little disarms, not just one, but 2 heroes right after the others, so it'll make things a bit awkward for the Ursa, of course. Still have to stick into Swashbuckle available if necessary, so as long as you can hold on to that, you should be absolutely fine there, at least on that hero. Okay, we got another one of these games where First Blood is really taken a while to come out because everyone's playing safe enough. Everyone has these solid lanes that are very hard to fight into. I mean, up top we saw Lion, of course, trying to stun up again, trying to be annoying, but not even really making much of a dent. And Son Goku is... okay, he's being a bit annoying here, but Son Goku still gets the half pull out.
Yeah. We've done actually a really good job in the top lane. Not just of interrupting some of these pulls, making life difficult for Son Goku, but he's been allowing the Mars in the Lifestealer lane to be 1v1 with the amount of harassment he's putting out. And that allows Mars, you never die here, you just get free farm, practically. And he's a lot happier with how things are going now on this Mars, gonna get some really good farm for the early game. He has got an Orb of Corrosion here as well, so we do know that AE has the intent to be able to fight as often as possible in this game.
It's also actually owning MS right now.
Just farming.
He's owning MS and last from 13-6 to 19-1. That's not exactly what I would have expected. As
Son Goku's gonna die.
Speed up, follow-up stun. Yeah, stick charges, but it's not gonna be enough. Oh, is it? What? The jokes? I'm not gonna be enough. Oh, he lost movement speed because the tether broke.
Got him.
Oh no.
Got him. Nice.
Would have been fine if MS was just staying in tether range. So. Unfortunate.
Yeah. Quite unfortunate there. They managed to catch the IO. You never want to be in this part of the map. When we spoke earlier about how this IO is the one that they want to be able to go on once you have the requisite spells and they make it happen for themselves, you always feel very happy. I mean, he does go middle at the very least to refill D-Stones' bottle, so he's still being useful all upon the map. But MS is the one that's not happy about how things are panning out because, like you mentioned, he's running very far behind on the CS. However, he's not dying, and that's all he really wants at this stage of the game, not to really die, especially because down bottom Flyby is also putting pressure onto Fonte. This Ursa, I really thought that with the help of this Undying would be in a better position to keep the farm up, and his HP pool has been okay, but has been struggling to get close to these creeps. Flyby, with the lucky shot, has gotten a lot of disarms out of this Ursa, prevented him from getting the CS he so desperately needs here in this bottom lane.
Yep. They're both offlaners just eclipsing the carries, the respective opponents, and their own carries by extension as well. So overall, that makes it a very even. Mid lane as well, 39-11 right now to 33-9. Slight advantage for Lena, but you don't know how many of those are these small creep camps at this point. That can vary quite a bit. Like if you get the small cobalt camp, you get a ton of last hits for like maybe the value of one lane last hit, you know. So it's 5-for-1 special in the wrong way.
So D-Stone's progression towards BTs, we're gonna have just an average game for him. I don't think we're gonna have anything. I'm trying to look around for some atypical builds here to see if somebody's gonna try to break the game in a way that we do not expect. It doesn't seem like that's gonna be the case for anybody, but we might have a kill onto Fonte down bottom. He's in a bad position here. Dragon Drop gets bushwhacked back into a tree. They are bringing in reinforcements though. Waishen shows up. Sonic Wave gets thrown out as well. Flyby swashbuckles into the trees. We'll be able to TP out as well. And Waishen, oh no. The first big movement of the game does save the life of the Ursa. However, at the cost of Sonic Wave, so that means that that's going to be her signature contribution here for this early game.
Well, saving lives is noble. Very noble goal, a very noble activity here is D-Stones though certainly making, using his time a little bit more worthwhile. As he's farming up some camps here, dropping items left, right and center, so this is always very nice if you can manage to make that happen. Just stack up a bunch until the 7-minute mark and then farm them. So you're gonna have all your neutral items immediately.
Oh my gosh. This is crazy actually. Look at this. Look at the neutral items that D-Stones found for his team. Get themselves a keen optic. They find a possess mask and a broomstick. Yeah. A broom handle available. My goodness. So
and the shovel as well.
Yeah, what? Are you kidding me? Come on, D-Stones.
Top lane though. MS is fine. I was never worried, to be honest.
Okay, he's fine. He's fine. Has Armlet now, has Infest, just has to wait a little bit for somebody to come back top. He's fine, but sadly, you know something to happen now, Dragon Drop. Io's abandoned him. Son Goku's found a better partner. He's like, you suck, man. I mean, I knew this was gonna happen, but this is happening a lot faster than I expected. Pre-10 minutes, and already this Io's like, alright, Life Sealer, you're on your own, buddy. Enjoy life. Yep. And Waishen, can't do much about this, but they're rotating bottom with this rolling thunder. They really want to try and get the kill onto Fonte, but this rotation, yet again, they manage to save Fonte's life, but it costs more and more resources for Neptune Gaming, and each time that this happens, they keep smiling on the side of Sparking Arrow because they know that, well, we have a few more minutes to play absolutely freely on the map.
Was looking very fun. I don't think they needed to expend all that much. I mean, Fonte was doing a really good job just dodging the roll. He was not hit once by that, so... yeah, it's all good still. I mean, this AoE is just crazy.
Yep.
Can be shackled from here to this tree. It's amazing.
It's balanced. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
dude.
the issue. Seems fine to me, bro.
I see literally no problem. Squirrels, you know.
You must have watched that Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah.
Squirrels taking over everything, and you know, in this game, I do think one of the things that the Squirrels going to be able to do really, really well is help them win out their vision game. That's one of the things that Neptune Gaming has often found themselves in trouble with, is control of where they can play around the map with vision. And Hoodwink, one of the better heroes at helping his team get that more. Right now, it's not necessary, obviously. They're still playing in this laning phase, with things being relatively slowly paced, still very static. I mean, we're almost at 10 minutes here, Dragon Drop. We've only gotten the 1 kill. Neither team really prepared to make any super aggressive moves, but what sucks about this is the big loser of all of this is Fonte. Has barely any farm on this Ursa, bottom of the net worth, and yet again he's down at less than half HP, and Flyby is revving up the Rolling Thunder, making him think about it, like, we might come towards you, my friend, be careful. And I think Fonte must gonna have to leave. Okay, he's not leaving, he's gonna stick around, but his team is gonna come to him. We finally have a rotation from the top lane. Hui, AE, gonna try and utilize the first Arena of Blood, the first Finger of Death, and try and make something happen on the team, on the map for their team.
Yeah. Well, the second Arena, they used that to try and make that kill attempt on Lifesteal earlier, but certainly in the first Finger of Blood, that might be the thing. Pushes them over the edge. Just scout the Ancient Stack on the way. There's Flyby and XCJ, they're not gonna know what hit him. But they will now, as he reveals himself, and that'll be the free kill on the support. Gank equals tanks, absolutely. MS though, certainly enjoying that free time up top. He's been recovering very quickly here, already third in net worth, you're only a couple hundred gold away from the mask. And now putting a lot of pressure on this tower with the catapult. Can't match that kind of
when all of this has been happening. As all of this has been happening, right, as they've been moving around to bottom with the Mars and the Lion to try and find that kill, which they do get on the Squirrel, but onto Hoodwink, whatever. It's a rotation you'll take any day of the week. MS has been left largely alone in this top lane and just keep farming. I mean, he hasn't died, and he was getting completely outlasted by the AE Mars, but at the end of the day, it's not good enough for a Lifestealer to not kill him. You have to put pressure on him or force him back into the jungle. If he can just maintain his presence in the lane, completely happy with this. And like you said, he's caught up in the net worth. He's sieging this tower. It's about to fall on this next push if they don't defend this. And it doesn't seem like they're coming to defend because they have to go bottom to deal with this attempt on Fonte's life. The relocate's also coming in. They're committing everything for this. The Laguna Blade will get this kill. Sonic Wave was committed by Waishen, but now this Queen of Pain might find that she's the one that's out of position. Does manage to blink away. The maxed out blink, so complete safety going to be available for Waishen, but yet again, another Sonic Wave committed to try and save the life of Fonte that goes nowhere. Doesn't allow them to get anything. They don't save his life, they don't save the tower. It's just a wasted spell here, Dragon Drop. And they're about to lose the tier 1 tower in the top lane.
Tier 1 tower top goes down, mid gets denied, so MS even getting that. I mean, map control still, of course, always nice to take down his mid tier 1 very quickly. It's what the hell, right?
Oh.
He didn't have a TP, so it's like, yeah, he probably stuck there for a while. But then he shows again? I was not ready for this one, to be honest.
Oh no, he thought that they retreated away behind the trees and he didn't have vision, so he came out for a second, but gets immediately punished. Oh no, Waishen. The worst part is they didn't even punish him with the LSA. It was a bushwhack that caught him out of nowhere. This is the power of this Hoodwink. He can hide with the scurry. As you see in an Arena of Blood being popped, they might get this kill onto the Lina, and they do finally. Some good news for Neptune Gaming being able to pick up D-stones here on the high ground in their own jungle.
Maybe he felt bad that Waishen got caught out, so he's like, alright, I'm gonna be greedy too, so I'm gonna give you the opportunity to turn things around on me as well, so Very nice catch there from Neptune. Trying to punish this Lina, and yeah, it's as we said, if you can get the drop on her, if you can control her up, then that's a very easy kill. It's going to continue to be until she gets BKB going. Currently working on that Shadow Blade by the look of it.
Looks like she's adopting that ultra aggressive approach. Instead of going bots BKB, she's gonna go bots Shadow Blade, BKB, Silver Edge. A lot more aggressive, and it does seem to lead into what we were talking about earlier with her functioning sort of as a secondary right clicker, with Son Goku able to buttress the attack speed. So see where the idea is coming from, understand the rationale here. And D-Stones, I'm really terrified about what Neptune Gaming will be able to do to hold off against it. I'm glad that AE is going for this early BKB. Normally I admonish the Mars players for not going for the early omelet, but I think Orb of Corrosion in this game probably helps cover a little bit what that item was supposed to help you do, but they just needed Blink Dagger really, really badly. Yeah. And they really need to find a way to involve Waishin in this game here, Dragon Drop. 0, 1, and 0. You know, if you're playing Lina and you have a low kill score, you're like, whatever, dude. I'm a farmer anyways, okay. But as Queen of Pain, you're not very happy about the fact that you've moved a lot in this game, found no kills, only been finding death for yourself, and not really been able to utilize any of the advantages of this hero to accelerate your team forward. And when the game is going this slowly, you start to question, why didn't we just pick a different mid laner to better utilize this free farm time?
Dying, taken out immediately though, and Neptune Gaming not immediately ready to respond, but they are now with the arena coming in, trying to burst down this lifesteal. Nice. Will be able to exit J super low as well, gets a bushwhack, but another blink nuke from White Chen. We'll finish him off, but D-Stone's right there with the turnaround. Flyby gets the control. White Chen going in too deep. Io leaves though, and that leaves Lina all alone on the front lines. Flyby, not a whole lot that he can do. Son Goku tried to help him out, but left on the low ground. That'll be another snack eventually, you would think. Looked down when all is said and done. What is that? A 2 for 4 if you want to still count that Undying that died initially. It's quite the fight there from Neptune Gaming, yeah. It's exactly like you said, need to involve the Queen of Pain, and they did it at the perfect time. They had an Arcane Wound bottled, had that Kaya completed. She did end up dying, but...
Still fighting.
Ooh, they are still fighting indeed. So Shan goes down, Aegis and Hands of Fonte, Flyby and MS will click down the line, but they need some more. Tombstone on the high ground. Trazam healing himself up. They cannot continue this engagement here, especially with White Chen also threatening. They'll walk away instead.
Alrighty. Neptune Gaming, the perfect fight. They show up to get revenge in middle, get the arena down, they burst Lifestealer, they save the tier 1 tower, they take a big fight, and they get the Roshan. That's like 2 sustained minutes of just W's that Neptune Gaming get to find for themselves, which has not been the case for the most part, unfortunately, in this game. But the big thing in that situation is not just involving the Queen of Pain, but allowing Ursa to come and get some good net worth in a fight. Fonte was kind of struggling beforehand, went for this Battle Fury build, and often when you go for this Battle Fury, you feel a little bit off the pace with your ability to fight early. But if the team is able to bring the fights to you, now you can utilize this Battle Fury to get you closer towards having the Blink Dagger as well, so you have that full mobility and the farming potential that you need on this hero. I mean, honestly, if that fight doesn't go as good as it does and they don't get this Aegis, I'm starting to feel a little bit worried about the fact that he went Battle Fury. It would put them a little bit off the pace about being able to contribute to the fights early, but now suddenly not a problem. Suddenly also means that MS has more pressure on him because this late game is not really going to be coming. The reloading bottom onto the Smalls, they got the stun out onto him, and there is going to be the reload, right clicks. Rolling Thunder made sure that there's no escape, and MS very happy to get the taxi out. Gets a free kill. That's always nice.
Yeah. Nice catch there. Of course, Flyby also showing off his own Blink Dagger. Together with a Bushwhack. They have plenty of control to set up for this relocate play. It's always something that you're looking for, you know. You don't just want to relocate blind because people will just walk away from you. But if you have some initial stuns to set it up, then it'll make it very easy indeed. So, yeah. Neptune Gaming, they stabilized with that last series of events. But it doesn't mean that they're on a path to straight up winning the game without any more effort here. I mean, Battle Fury will help the Ursa to just keep up with the lifestealer, who's been still farming very effectively, all things considered. Has Armlet, has a Heaven's Halberd, finds Brigand's Blade for himself, just like the Ursa did a little bit earlier. As, speaking of Ursa, smoked up right now with a Blink Dagger of his own. Will not find the jump just now.
They thought somebody must be invis nearby to break the smoke. We even popped the dust for that. Sadly, they don't get anything. At bottom, there's a final to XCJ. Yet again, they're committed to using the Arena of Blood around them. Get the quick squirrel kill. And I'm looking at this build for the Lifestealer. He's going for this AC next as well. And he picked up a quick silver amulet too. Are you kidding me?
Ooh,
so the full rising, right-clicking, Lifestealer here are going to be coming out. Once this AC is finished, I think that they definitely want to keep going. We sometimes would see Desolator in lieu of giving Halberd when you go for this kind of build, but in this game, he recognizes that with the one right-clicker being Fonte, if I buy Heaven's Halberd, apply it onto him, then suddenly we've got a very sad bear who can take the rest of the fight and then come back and deal with Fonte. But Fonte is not going to make this super easy for them. As much as he's still being left behind by the Lifestealer, it's only a very shallow lead at present here. And once he gets this BKB, honestly, even though Lifestealer will have a bit more farm, I still feel Ursa will be a little bit more effective in the fight with his ability to get to the very far end of it, threaten directly Lina, Pango, Hoodwink, whereas Lifestealer definitely can't jump by himself to the back end of the fight to threaten the same heroes in that way either.
Yeah.
So looking forward to see what Fonte does, and especially since they have at least another minute of free time to get this farm with the Aegis, and they might utilize that free time to also pick up a tier 2 tower in the top lane.
Yeah, well, would you say that SAG is more restricted in the way that they take these fights? Because they kind of need to be the ones initiating, ideally, and then that's a way to make sure that Lina doesn't get caught out. So maybe that's what they're trying to do right here. Lina has Boots of Trouble, of course. She can join up top whenever. So the rest of them are smoked up, running straight into Trazam. So of course, he made that movement to find out where SAG is at. It's a sacrifice that was planned and expected. It's better than just running into the whole team on a core instead. So
Waishin got a little bit lucky there. He blinked into the river literally a second before the smoke move came up. And had he done so a second later, he probably would have revealed the smoke, but he's still in front of these heroes. They want to make this jump. Earth Spike misses. He goes in with the rage, but now they'll see him. And this is one of the main problems that Sparking Arrow Gaming have. Like you were mentioning, if they ever get spotted first, if the initiation is ever scouted, it's so easy for Neptune Gaming to dodge it. They've got the double blinks on Mars and the Ursa. Queen of Pain has the blink on the spell. This Lion also has blink too, so quite difficult if they don't get the instant initiation from SAG for them to start the fight on their terms. And Neptune Gaming recognize this and they go into a smoke. They're like, wait a second, they can't do anything, can they? Okay, let's go. Let's try to force them into a fight that we know that they'll have a harder time responding to than we have starting the fight itself. Sadly, Sparking Arrow Gaming also realized this, so they're playing very close together as a team up on top, but this Lina, she hasn't shown yet, and everybody's going to be playing around each other. Maybe Flyby might be the straggler here, especially since he's used the swashbuckle. Yeah, he's dead. He's dead.
Good push out of the arena because he was stunned up by the Earth Spike while the spear was going, so that's always been funny to see, but ultimately it was a little bit too much. Blinking right into them, so yeah, space created, I guess, not as ideal as the Undying did on the other side, because obviously Flyby is in 3 position here, don't want to give him up for free necessarily. Neptune Gaming will be able to take down the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane on the back of that as well. SAG trying to make the best of it here. Clicking away at the tier 2 top, but that'll being responded to. Lion scouted out immediately though and killed off just as well. Just as quickly.
Did his job though, came in to distract them from being able to push on the tower and putting in right clicks. He's done so, but no, they're bringing in D-Stones. They're insistent on making this a tier 1 for tier 2 trade with this numerical advantage. I don't know about this, they're taking it very quickly, but they really want to fight. They miss with the bushwhack. AE looking for an arena opportunity, won't be able to find it, but they draw a lot of heroes back. But look how low they got the tower. Sparking Arrow Gaming, they get the kill on Lion, they got out without having to lose anybody. Oh, this actually works out really, really well for them. I think that given how this game is going, they recognize the same thing we're talking about, their difficulty in fighting. So they're like, well, we can't take an easy fight like that. Let's just keep pushing on the side of the map. Make sure MS never is in a dead position. We always have the relocate potential to get him out. Always have Hoodwink nearby, that if heroes are trying to run onto him, Bushwhack will stop them right in their tracks. So this is actually interesting that they have an IO draft playing a 4-5-man spread right now.
Yeah.
Just to try and avoid some of the skirmish potential of Neptune Gaming. This must be so frustrating for Neptune. One of the few games they've been playing where after the laning phase, things have actually been going in their favor. They've taken some positive fights. They've got a ton of farm on Fonte. They're the ones that got to 10 kills first. They don't have the top net worth overall, but their capability of 4-5-man skirmishes is great, but SAG just never allowing them to really get that advantage going. Just frustration after frustration after frustration. And the longer this goes, the more prone they'll be to make mistakes, especially if they get caught now with Waishen in his own jungle, as he's isolated from the rest of his team, whilst SAG are smoking into the Radiant side of the map, hoping for a pick-off here.
Would be a very nice pick if they could get it, but Waishen, of course, one moment he's there, the next he's just in a different spot altogether, but he's showing in mid right now. Does have a BKB, so they will need to... Oh, okay. Would have needed to interrupt the TP out, but did not have vision of that, so no jump. Just trying to find a place to be. Waishen showing bottom now, though, and it's just as close. There it is, blink forward, roll up, follow-up control with the Bushwhack, with the LSA. Just needs a bit of extra damage, and they have it. The Laguna Blade and the right clicks. The rest of the team coming in one by one. A with the zone BKB. As they get rid of the Tombstone, doesn't find a good place for the arena though. As oh, what the hell, Flyby? Are you crazy?
Okay.
He's just going in. MS clicking away the tower. LSA connects on an undying. Couple right clicks here. The nuke down the line in front. Disarm slows, and what the hell happened to him? It just disappeared. Woo. Single right click. It looked like. What?
D-Stones with Tether. I told you, D-Stones with Tether. With AC being nearby from MS, it's very difficult to survive a fight like that. A lot of damage coming out. And Neptune Gaming, this is so sad. Waishen had BKB, but he can't get off the spell in time. From one disable, it turns into a million, and they get everything onto him. And from that play, Dragon Drop, suddenly SAG rinsing a lane of racks. Are you kidding me? Neptune Gaming, mere seconds ago, the game was okay. They still had a tier 2 bottom. They'd avoided all these smoke gangs from SAG. They had a BKB out on Queen of Pain, but just one moment later, everything just turns to ash in their mouths. This Lifestealer, because he went for this pure right-clicking build, has a very easy time, not just chomping through heroes, but the attack speed on towers when he has Tether is just obscene. Look at this.
He didn't even click any heroes in that fight bottom. It was,
what?
It was all between Flyby and D-Stones. He just clicked the tower.
Oh my god.
Oh god, that is alright. XCJ dead to the finger, so at least he's stacking up some more of those charges. There's the arena coming through, trying to kill Son Goku. Will be able to do so with the spear connecting and BKB to protect. Arc's coming out immediately because this is for Roshan. Tombstone in the middle of it, so making things a bit awkward. Need to wait this one out on SAG, but Fonte wants to take that cover, wants to take that advantage. MS keeping an eye on things, starting to click away on this Tombstone. The heal will make it survive until it times out naturally, but Roshan has not fallen just yet. Very important one. Aegis and the Shard, especially for the Ursa, just such a great upgrade to get for free.
Neptune Gaming need to take this Aegis. They can't allow this to go away to SAG. There have been 2 buybacks on the supports, so this might be a golden opportunity, and Neptune Gaming need to know that this attempt is happening right now. 35 seconds until they'll have access to the arena again, but SAG also want to take this fight. They don't want to get surprised, so they're the ones that are going to make the aggressive move, moving in through this mid lane. Can't really find a way up the hill though, so MS will just go back into the pit, daring them. They know that, well, one of us is going to get this Aegis, one of us needs it more than the other. Shazam, will it be able to pop down this Tombstone again? Do they take this fight? This Roche is dying. It's so close to getting taken down. Will they blink in time? No, they won't. Lina gets the Aegis. Shazam caught in as well with the Bushwhack. Will lose his life so quickly. But they're going to get the counterplay onto this Lina, but they can't kill her in time. Infest and the Tether. So instead, they just get the immediate turnaround onto Fonte. Laguna Blade turns him into jelly as they bring him down. Waishen trying to flee the fight in time. Will be able to get away, but it's already popped the BKB, so it's in a dangerous position. D-Stones, does he find the LSA? Finds it onto the Undying. They allow the Queen of Pain at the very least to TP out. But they take the Aegis here, drag and drop. They kill Fonte, the one hero that needed this Aegis to be functional in this game. And I don't know now if it's possible for them to win anymore. Sparking Arrow Gaming are just taking everything. They've got map control, they have the outpost on bottom. And without buyback on this Undying, they have a potential to get another tier 3 tower and potentially a second lane of racks.
Yeah. I was like, what happened to the shot? I don't see the indicator on the top. And then I remembered, oh yeah, that's with the embellishments of the Chinese production that we don't have in game. But hey, there it is. MS being stunned up inside the arena, healed up from Son Goku. He's still alive now, ready to turn onto the Mars and say goodbye to him. Take the courier, please leave our racks alive, they say. And I don't think SAG will really accommodate that. GG well played, just straight up called. They don't feel like they can take this fight without the Mars, and I'm excited to agree, especially if they lose Weichen here as well. But yeah, it was already called a little bit too much. Sparking Arrow Gaming with the victory in the end. And that escalated very quickly.
That escalated in a hurry here, Drag and Drop. It was fine for so long. The game looked okay. It looked not even okay, it looked better than okay, right? It was like, we're not ahead, but we're not behind either. We are in an equivalent position. We'll eventually find a situation where we can take at least one good fight. We see Fonte was trying to build into the Basher at that point. The Queen of Pain already had Sanjin, Kaya, and BKB. Those are all the defensive tools you think you'll need in a game like this. So you're saying, sweet, all we need to do is hold out for the next few minutes, get the next Roche, ensure that we don't end up losing too many towers, stop them from taking tier 2s, and we'll be okay. And then one pick off. That's how it started, right? They jump Weichen down bottom. That one kill leads into them taking a fight because everybody from Neptune Gaming starts panicking. They're like, oh god, our Queen of Pain's being gone on. We need to go defend her. By the time they all arrive, she's dead. Then they're now all in this really weird position of, oh well, do we defend the tier 2? Do we stick around to try and take the rest of the fight? By the time they make up their mind, more heroes are dying. By the time they decide to retreat, the tier 3 tower is basically dying. And then just the whole game cascades out of nothing. You get Raxed, you lose the Aegis soon after, you lose the Roshan fight as well. And Neptune Gaming, it really did feel like this always happens though, let's be honest. We see the plan, we see the idea. The lane will be, either good to moderately fine, and afterwards is where really the problems always set in for Neptune Gaming. And as a team, I think that's where they really have to focus. What do we do after we've gained our items, after we've gained our advantages? Because every time they try to make something happen, they always run into danger, they always run into trouble, and they always run into lost games, almost exactly like what we saw here from SAG.
Yep. Look at some of these highlights here. It was one of the pretty good arenas here. They burst down the lifestealer, but it was one of the few times they were able to actually do that on a very important hero. Fly by. They still get the counter kill here. Distance also walking in. Some Goku. Actually, could have relocated Lina back out, right?
Yeah.
Leaving Distance in was a slight misplay that we didn't end up noticing there, but yeah. Trying to keep Flyby alive. We'll be successful in that, but we'll give up his own life here.
They should really be frustrated as well on the side of Neptune Gaming, because this wasn't the cleanest performance either from SAG. Like, this fight that we just saw here, they get very lucky about the fact that all the heroes are inside the fight they go in, but look where this Ursa is. He just gets chain disabled, doesn't get off any of the spells. BKB is up and Rage is up. That should just never happen. And a lot of these fights though should just not be happening. Mars shouldn't be going in by himself without having the Ursa there to back him up. There shouldn't be these kind of situations where one roll from Rolling Thunder just interrupts the entire team fight. And we saw a lot of times where a relocate should have happened defensively. We practically never saw a defensive relocate this game. Son Goku was all on the offense. He's like, go forward, y'all. We're killing them. We're not getting out. And
don't back it up here.
No, it's like, oh, back me up. I'm tethering somebody else. You want out? Get out yourself, man. Yeah. And under those conditions, you should be able to beat a team like that. But unfortunately for Neptune Gaming, even having the burst damage of Lion and Queen of Pain, even having the ability to fight directly into Lifestealer with Fonte's Ursa, you need to press your BKBs. You need to press your ultimates. And at the very least, you need to make sure that you're using these things with the rest of your team. Every single time we see a BKB, Sonic Wave, Arena, half the time, all his allies wouldn't be using the spells in tandem with that. And in Dota, you need to be able to do combos. Otherwise, heroes will be like, oh, I'll tank the spell. Cool. Now I pop BKB. Now what? What are you going to do? Well, I pop Rage on Lifestealer. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Now
nothing.
Healed
just
by
die.
IO, You're absolutely right. I mean, the few times when I managed to press the buttons at the same time, they got results, right? We saw in the highlights at one time they actually ended up killing the life stealer very quickly. So yeah, really good example of how we need to play these kinds of games, and it just did not quite happen. We're gonna take a short break, but we'll be back with game number 2 shortly, so don't go too far away.
DOTA 2开启全新篇章 ，DOTA Plus 加入游戏，英雄修行解锁徽章，陪伴你从入门到精通，从新手成长为英雄。英雄语音聊天轮盘，诙谐幽默，
值得信任的伙伴。
你心中的话语，借英雄
我可不吹牛皮，升级绝对是好
完成任务即可获得英雄碎片，全新特效套装等你兑换，彰显不凡和尊贵。英雄圣物记录成就，带你回味每一个精彩瞬间。游戏中获得的数据将被忠实记录，数据也许冰冷，但其中跃动的记忆无比火热。勇士联赛再度开启，呼朋唤友挑战极限，信任与配合是 DOTA 2不变的主题，更有 Plus 助手带你快速上手游戏。也许曾离开，但全世界的玩家期待你归来。DOTA Plus，DOTA 2的新时代。
读书人的事情怎么能算透？这是机密。自作自受。
你非常酷。
毁灭。时间结界。
裂地尖刺，辛巴快跳！可怜的魔导，
死亡之指。你软绵绵的法术真是扶不上起来。进攻！超新星！月食！雷神之怒！神灭战！末日！接招！原来是这样的。黑洞！来吧！
要陪丽娜玩吗？会被烧焦的哦。
他们无论怎样武装，也不足以战胜我。
第一份祭品已经奉上，欢迎来到奈摩尔的地盘。
They call me Speed.
They call me Speed.
我的爱上灵丹上有5个影子，
是谁在呼唤水晶侍女？
如果世人不承认我的存在，那就有必要再重新做。
还需要介绍。
有孽若已经消失，只有主宰尚存。看看这群待宰的狗呀！
没有什么角色是我模仿不出的。
我沿着地上的一个大洞跑到了地下。这东西是座铁链，铁链上还有很大的钩子。最后，死亡之神以为被偷走了。要我说，是无为人主。打开杀戒的好日子。开工时间，眼观六路，给我叫起来！嘿嘿嘿嘿，好大块鲜肉，来亲热亲热，小鲜肉！1、2、1、2，今晚我就陪我来我这儿，给你切个漂亮的豆花。 对罐头，烧烤时间。大家就好样的，你才是土东西起家的。
Welcome to Dota, friend. It's Dota time, baby!
好，有大招，
踩到了4个，但是敌人还在对面之上，
基本上没有工作环境了。
对面之上好像还摆不活，被铁锤死了。诺瓦直接跳出来，今天恭喜李逵！恭喜李逵，拿到了本届Super Major的冠军。
欢迎来到由完美世界游戏主办的2018 CSGO 亚洲邀请赛。
大巴蒂，鬼王也会也打3个。
恭喜哪位获得这次 CDEC 亚洲邀请赛的冠军。
第二奖励有没有锤？还传一下，传一下，漂亮！对，这一盘老坑爹其实已经没有什么机会了。
恭喜 Manesky，
恭喜 Manesky 拿到了DPC亚洲邀请赛的一个冠军。
最后的1秒钟，我估计 Works 这个都没有想到。啊，他以为在 B 吧？站起来，泽宝尼打下了这个不可思议的残局。
我大有个什么东西？这是开人吗？我又要提这个问题。3胜！恭喜 Monster！ 恭喜 Monster！ 2-0战胜了来自于芬兰的 Major 亚军
Welcome to the International.
有点创造不了奇迹，扔在飞机脸上，又是秒被带走，
直接打出了奇迹。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Bit of an extended break here, but we're about to head into the draft for game number 2. So, Snare, quick recap of game 1. What happened there?
Feels like ages ago at this point, right?
It was, yeah. That's
game 1.
That's why I'm asking.
We saw Neptune Gaming had a great game at the beginning. We finally had it wasn't the best laning phase from them, but it was decent, right? They got everything they needed out of it. They didn't lose too many heroes around the map. Their first few rotations were kind of problematic. They had Waishin playing the Queen of Pain, so he needed to make a lot of impact happen. And he spent a lot of time just trying to save Fonte on his Ursa. And these movements was not ideal, but ultimately they didn't end up losing too much on the map. And it seemed like they were going to enter the mid game well, and they did. Got some good items on their Ursa, got their Blink BKB timings on their Mars, Queen of Pain got BKB Sanj and Kaya. It all looks like it's going to work out. And then disaster struck. They lose one fight down bottom, right? And not that late into the game either. It's like, what, 22 minutes, 23 minutes in, they lose this one fight around their tier 2. And a minute later, Dragon Drop, they've lost the lane of Rax. A few minutes later, they've lost the second Aegis. And a few minutes after that, they've lost the entire game. And this is not the first time that we've seen this happen with Neptune Gaming, where 1 or 2 setbacks, 1 or 2 mistimed movements on the map, 1 or 2 badly taken fights suddenly cascade into them just falling apart entirely. And it happened yet again from them. And now they're staring down the cusp of going down 0-2. And going 0-2 would also mean going 0-6 in the league, practically guaranteeing that they're going to find themselves getting relegated.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to avoid that fate right now, but at least you want to have something to look back upon in this season where you say, yep, this went well, this is something that we can build on. You want to have that 1 game at least for honor, if nothing else. So I'll try and make this happen here. Had some changes apparently. I'm not sure if one of these guys is still Fonte, because 2 of the names are might end up changing. They thought it was a bit weird. Sometimes the names in the draft don't correspond to the names in game and what have you. But Gorgo is back. We know that for a fact, instead of Trezam, who was standing in last game. So we'll see what they can do with that. It's not always great to have a player change in the middle of a series, though. So Death Prophet Pangolier, Hoodwink, Bloodseeker. So already statements being made here from both sides.
Yep. We saw this Bloodseeker getting banned out last game by Sparking Arrow Gaming themselves, but now they make sure to grab it, have the BS. I mean, you see a Pango on the other team, you just pick Bloodseeker. Simplifies life. Now this Pangolier is going to be forced into the situation where you have to play this. Either they shift it down to a support, or you have to play the super slow style of Pangolier, very rarely using your ultimates unless you've seen Bloodseeker activate the Rupture, then you can go in. And it tends to really make your timings on this hero quite wonky. Already love what I'm seeing here from Sparking Arrow Gaming. Neptune, though, do have some push prowess at the very least with this Death Prophet. Can go anywhere. Could be the 5 position, the 3 position, the mid laner. Options are available. And especially if you have a team set up where you've made some substitutions in the middle of a series, I think it always behooves you to play heroes that don't require a very high execution cost, right? That it's very simple, the idea. Hey, guys, come around me. I'm going to press R. We're going to go take a building. Sweet. We don't have to time perfect movements, perfect rotations around the map. And we at least have a situation where they'll always have the availability of some team fight, and they increase that option as well by getting themselves an Earthshaker. Fissure, really, really nice with Pangolier in the game as well. Can set up for some very nice block opportunities. And they also have now some counter initiation, which they've really been lacking in a lot of these games. They often find themselves that if the enemy team jumps them, they don't have very good counter options. But now you have 2 between Pango and the Earthshaker. Well, provided Pangolier is allowed to play Dota with Bloodseeker in the game.
Yeah, it's always a bit dangerous, isn't it? Try and roll away, but then you get ruptured. It's like, yeah, I guess I just cancel my ult and just stand there and then maybe die, or just keep rolling and then definitely die. And yeah, it's just, it's not a fun game to play up against a Bloodseeker if you're Pango, but we'll see. Maybe you can get a Linken's at one point. So Earthshaker, yeah, I agree though, very good for counter initiation, so it works well with this idea of that you were mentioning, right? Death Prophet just says, hey, yeah, I'm gonna pressure this tower, and if you want to come at me, then be my guest, but then there's gonna be an Earthshaker with a Blink Echo at the ready behind me, so something that Sparking Arrow will need to account for. They could pick up some wave clear from afar, perhaps. Right now, really thinking
I'm also
about
kind of wondering.
options.
I'm wondering, what do you think, right? is Neptune Gaming going to put this Earthshaker offlane? I'm starting to think about it now that they might decide to put Earthshaker 3 and then the Pango as the 4 position, just to try and at least get some coverage there and to get an earlier Blink Dagger out of the Earthshaker. Looking back on that game, game 1, yeah, sure, Hui was able to get a fairly decently timed Blink Dagger on his Lion, but I think they might also want like an Axe or a BKB on this Earthshaker. Otherwise, they might just decide, well, Pango, we just rupture you. Earthshaker, if we just drop Bloodrite nearby, we should be fine. And they get this Invoker now. Alacrity plays are on. We still haven't gotten what the offlane is guaranteed from Sparking Arrow, but now I'm starting to worry. Do they go like Tide Hunter Invoker, Faceless Void Invoker? Oh, Faceless Void is banned, so there's no Mars, there's no Void. The best combos with this hero are gone, but I could still see them deciding to pick up a hero that allows you to burst somebody immediately when Cataclysm comes out.
Yeah, interesting to see this one with the Invoker. I mean, obviously, let's not forget that the hero is not just about Cataclysm, right? When it comes to all of this teamfight and teamfight control, he can be king as well. You know, well-timed Tornado EMP, especially against these strength heroes that kind of need their mana to cast a bunch of spells. But if you mana burn the Pango and the Earthshaker, what are they gonna do? The answer is nothing, because they can't. You know, all they can do is run away from you. So I think that's gonna be something to look out for here.
Also gives them the opportunity, when the counter initiation comes, they have their own counter initiation, like you mentioned with that Tornado. Yeah. Wind Ranger coming up as well. It was the other day I was in the NA DPC and we saw this Wind Ranger pause 4, and I didn't believe in it for a long period in the game. However, there was a late game, some situations with some close range shackle shots against 2 melee heroes. I think it was Pango, Faceless Void. I forget what the other hero was, but it looked really, really good. And given that Pango and Earthshaker want to be getting far forward in the fight, there always will be some susceptibility to being shackle shotted. But I think this is mostly about some stellar lane harass. Both sides of the map right now is going to be putting pressure onto Neptune Gaming, which will prove to be problematic because generally speaking, Neptune's best aspect of the game is the laning phase. They start to crash out after that. So if Sparking Arrow Gaming is putting that pressure onto them now, it makes life extremely difficult for Neptune Gaming, considering that they haven't shown the best ability to rally as a team after the laning phase. So they'll need to do something to make sure that they can recover from this stage. I'm really worried about this mid-game Dragon Drop. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't look very good. Will this make it better?
Kind of.
I don't...
I mean, not really, right? It's a hero that you can rally around, but it's not a hero that can stabilize the mid-game out of a bad laning stage, right? I mean, Luna's gonna need some time to farm up in the jungle, and you really need a bunch of items to be effective. Like, you need a BKB in this game, 100%, and then you still need maybe Manta, maybe Hurricane Pike, probably Manta this game, because Hurricane Pike against Bloodseeker Ruptures, we'll see. Like, you can still make an argument for it. But the point is, you need quite a bit of network before you really feel comfortable joining in to these pushes, these 5-man engagements, right? Else you just get bursted down.
I'm also really worried about what happens when Invoker starts to get more levels in the Exort. Then we're putting Alacrity on Bloodseeker, BKBs up on Bloodseeker, and it just runs at your face as Luna.
Yeah.
You don't really have many counterplay options. Big enough Luna can just stand there and deliver damage, challenge the Bloodseeker directly, but you have to be really, really large to get to that point as the Luna, and your team needs to be able to help you out. And in this game, the help is going to be difficult to deliver when BKBs do emerge. Death Prophet at the very least does have damage that goes through it, but this Bloodseeker, if he gets BKB, what do they do? Like, what's the option here for them? So this Luna is not going to have... we don't know what the offlane matchup is going to be, so we don't know if she's going to crush that lane just automatically. And they're actually convinced right now, Neptune, that this Bloodseeker is in the offlane. I don't know why they would do these bans on Lifestealer and Slog, so they just picked this Doom hero.
Yeah.
Oh boy. This looks like a very good Doom game right now for me.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just want to have, like, the one target that you can Doom, but then it's slightly better to be... slightly easier to protect for the other team. But in this one, right now, depending on when you get the Doom out, obviously, like, Doom after Neko Slam, okay, still maybe useful, you just prevent the follow-up control and whatnot. But you have a bunch of good Doom targets, right? That's the point that I'm trying to make. So, yeah. And taking... yeah, Neptune Gaming, they have a strong lineup, but it's a very brittle one. Like if you take out any part of it, it gets a lot tougher if it doesn't fall apart completely.
Absolutely.
So that's where the Doom comes in very handy for sure.
I think actually in this game, they've got, so I'm thinking about this, right? Exorcism, they should want to trigger it before they really get too stuck into the fight. Bloodseeker's always going to rupture the Pango. It feels like this Luna, if I'm playing Doom right now, I never want to Doom anybody but Luna. I'm like, how much damage do they actually have in these fights without this Luna? Potentially not that much. So, last pick on the Snapfire. We're going to have another situation where a small surprise is going to take place here. Snapfire will be going into this mid lane for us here, Dragon Drop. So, going to be getting that damage build, Daedalus, probably being triggered out by Wai Shen to get to that level 20 talent as soon as humanly possible. Does present another Doom target, however, and more so than just presenting another Doom target, we now also have a situation where if the Snapfire doesn't have a good game, they are really being left behind in the damage front because they've now shifted this Death Prophet into the 5 position. So support DP, support Pango as well, because they are playing what we talked about earlier, the Earthshaker and the offlane instead. This lineup is over-reliant on the laning phase, which Neptune Gaming often has been in general, but even for them, this is a bit much, and it does feel like there is no option. Like, what's the recovery plan here if things don't go well in the first 10 minutes of the game? They practically have none. It's very difficult for Pango and Death Prophet to make big moves early before they really kit it out with levels. Quite difficult to imagine a game where the Snapfire is creating space around the map. It's not a tempo controller, so needs the other lanes to go well, needs to be able to group up as a 5-man. And when you're playing these more group up style of Dota, does mean that you have to have perfect execution and you have to have perfect lanes. And Neptune, unfortunately, has not really demonstrated either here in the lower division DPC. So I think they really are in trouble, and I think Sparking Arrow Gaming are looking good for a 2-0 here.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Snapfire, it's not something that we've never seen before. Like, especially in China, they've run into more often than other regions, I would say, at least from what I've seen. But it is one of these non-standard mid-heroes for a reason, right? Because it's heavily reliant on the ability to use their spells, and Dooms has noted that at the right circumstances. But more importantly, like, the moment the BKB comes out, the hero just becomes useless. You know, BKB's on Bloodseeker, Invoker, and Doom. If he wants, he can probably get a very quick one too, just because of Devour, right? He's always going to have money. We'll see if he wants to go for Midas in between as well. So, Neptune Gaming, they're on a timing. If the lanes go well enough, then the timing is going to be very strong. But yeah, I share your concerns. SAG have enough wrenches to throw between their feet in the meantime, then they should be set.
There is a bright side, though. The one bright side of all of this is that if they do manage to actually get a good game for the Snapfire, the combination between her and the Luna does present a lot of physical damage, so that they won't need necessarily that much magical burst because they'll kill heroes that quickly. But I don't know why they went to challenge here for this bounty. Whatever, just a waste of spells, it's fine. Everything's okay. And they get just a regular trade. It's actually 3. Wait, just 2-2? Okay, it's just 2-2. Okay. They're not going to get 3.
Oh, good.
I was hoping that they would get something, at least for Neptune Gaming. But at least, you know, AE, one of the aspects of having Earthshaker in the team is that you can perform this block and make sure that you get off at the very least to a decent start in the early laning phase. Because it's not going to be the easiest lane to play into the Hoodwink or Bloodseeker. There's a lot of harass coming from this side of the map.
XCJ already, tiny little bolt there being thrown out. But MS also went for the big blocks, so still a decent enough position here for the Radiant side. It's even better because if it makes it harder for the other team to kind of drag the creep base around, so the tower starts hitting and pushes the lane out that way. So this might actually be more comfortable for SAG at the moment.
Let's see here. I'm trying to just figure out where's the best place for Neptune Gaming to try and apply pressure so that they can get themselves into a better position. It's not going to happen in this bottom lane, of course, as we discussed. So it has to happen in this lane up on top where Flyby is already playing aggressively into the Luna's face. And with help of the Wind Ranger, this is a lane where there's a ton of harass that can come out. So I'm really hoping that they utilize it well. Son Goku does get the salve cancelled, but it did enough heal that it should be fine. They'll be able to come back. Once they get to level 3 in this lane.
Yeah, let's talk about the support deck profit, because right now, battling up at Son Goku and quite successfully again with, yeah, as I said, with that salve cancel, but he needs a salve of his own, perhaps. Stick charge is going both ways. There's another wind run, so Goku has to, yeah, he backs off in time.
Lol, that was hilarious, honestly.
He has a salve, but you don't necessarily want to use your salve on 5% support, you want to keep it for your carry, but Goku doesn't have that option, he gets it cancelled too, so... Sentry was left and right.
I don't know if the second sentry though blocks the camp here from Son Goku. We'll see at the next moment. And bottom lane, actually, they get the first blood onto AE. This Earthshaker try to do the classic move of running in back, but unfortunately, this is Hoodwink Bloodseeker. They can chase you, and when they get you, they can kill you. MS demonstrating it down bottom. And this is terrifying. Bloodseeker, I was already scared about a Bloodseeker if he just was going to have a normal game. So imagine in this game where he's getting an accelerated start by being able to find kills down bottom.
Yeah, that's the first blood that is not something that you would expect or hope for here if you're NG for sure. So it's boots and halfway to the face boots, the one completed as well currently on the courier.
Heals back. You know, there is one, we were asking earlier about the support DP, and it did indeed block the camp, well done. One thing I do think that is going to be a problem for Neptune Gaming is whenever you play the support DP, it does really delay the level progression of this hero, and Death Prophet is really reliant on levels. And now, oh, actually might try to run down Flyby, but he does have access to Scorched Earth. He'll just run by the Luna's Courier, kill it before it brings in the band of Elven Skin. Feels bad. Feels bad.
Really bad indeed.
No bonus edgy for you.
MS's Courier also died on the other side, but he's gonna get another kill here. Maybe. Took him a while, but also that ends well. Hoi Hoi was not there to help out. He was dragging the creep up across, so I knew exactly how much time they had.
Oof. Oof. This is a potential problem here. This is honestly a potential problem. MS is really getting accelerated. The CS that he has right now, behind the Luna, sure, by a large margin, but definitely will have higher net worth due to these kills. And the scary thing about this here, Drag and Drop, is he did this alone. XCJ was back pulling the creep wave. So when you allow a hero in the safe lane to have a kind of start where he can sustain himself against two heroes alone, that will allow this Hoodwink to be able to make more help happen elsewhere on the map. We should have the Snapfire start to worry a little bit about what might happen in a few minutes. But speaking of the Snapfire, on the bright side, having a pretty decent lane right now against D-Stones. With 3-point Scatter Blast, there's no way that you lose this matchup at all. And this is one of the reasons we started seeing these Snapfires come in from China. Just how good you can be in a lot of these matchups. How easy it is to secure, especially this range creep with more points into the Scatter Blast.
Especially against a Quasvex Invoker. I mean, yeah, you have to worry about these spells a little bit just being super annoying, but he doesn't have that extra insane amount of right-click damage that you would have if you went Quas Exhort. So, Curry dies again. So the second one, come on! Come on! Someone called Peter because this is not okay.
Nah. They have to get something, right? They've gotten this is only fair. You kill our Earthshaker twice, we kill two of your couriers. Exactly, you know. It's a fair trade at the end of the day. They get this. What's really scary though is look at AE. Already was back down to some very low HP. Doesn't have access to a soul ring or a helm, so it doesn't have much sustain for himself in this lane. Pretty much just going to be reliant on sticking as far back as possible to survive. But progression is going to be a lot slower. And I was hoping the hero would be playing off lane so he can get faster items, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen in this game. It's going to be a situation where Blink is delayed, and they need that Blink. So all the initiation has to come from a different target. And the only hero that can make some initiations happen is going to be the Snapfire. Remember, Pango cannot play this game. They had to move it to support because Bloodseeker just presses R and suddenly you do nothing.
But hey, if Snapfire gets an Aghanim Scepter, you don't need a Blink Dagger on Earthshaker.
Hey.
Yay! Something to look forward to, perhaps. White gets the money.
Sadly, he's not going to build it for a while, though. I think he's going to go for the Blink Daedalus build first. It's going to be a little bit delayed before they get the full Aghanim Scepter. He's going to want damage.
We'll see, because Daedalus is also only really effective, of course, when you have level 20, right? With a little
yeah, it gets super effective at level 20. Yeah. Super effective. So, oh, middle lane, D-Stones. I think one of the things about this Invoker as well in this game is just how easy it's going to be for him. They have very little catch and very little way to get to the back of the fight here from Neptune Gaming. So D-Stones should have a free game. You know, I've talked a lot of trash about D-Stones over the years, but the one thing I'll never ever say negative about him is when he's playing Invoker. D-Stones Invoker, I always respect, I always stand by. As a top lane, fly by. Not gonna stand by anybody. Almost killed Gogo there, but now this DP, this is one of the things that sucks about playing this hero as +5. When you're in these situations where you've already triggered out the Spirit Siphon, you don't really contribute much to the lane anymore. And they might kill her. Shackle Shot goes out, Power Shot, and Flyby with the Centaur Conqueror War Stomp. They set up for the kill onto Gogo, and they set up down bottom for a kill onto Hui Hui. Actually, it was middle. D-Stones got that kill. Okay.
What?
Okay.
Didn't see what he was doing there. We were watching the action top, but yeah, I mean, 2 kills for SAG. Doubling the kill score. Very nice. And his top lane Flyby. He's going for the Midas. 2 points up on the Devourer. So even though his last hits are not as good as Luna's, it's gone into the jungle, so it's gonna be very fast. As mid actually, D-Stones another combo on White Shen. Hui just tried to go again. They have the cookie after the dust, and D-Stones is kind of low. Has Fairy Fire. He also has a tower here. Someone could TP in. White Shen actually misses the Scatter Blast, and now a lot of trouble here. The Rupture comes through as MS makes the rotation. And D-Stones clicking away to Hui at the same time. Oh, this went terribly wrong. They went too deep.
That was actually the sickest thing that happened there. So D-Stones just recently picked up this Urn of Shadows, you know, needed to get those charges going. The fact that Wai Shen got brought down by MS gives D-Stones the additional Urn shot so that he can cold snap and then kill onto Hui Hui and bottom. They want AE as well. He's not going to be able to escape. They really wanted D-Stones to get closer. Hey, it's going to be a rotation kill. There we go. They try to get the save with the Fire Snap cookie, but this is cold snap plus Urn. Literally nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is paying it forward, right? MS rotates middle to save your life. You rotate bottom to help him out as well, you know. Hashtag teamwork.
Hashtag teamwork, indeed. They do know what's up here. They do have a ward right smack dab in the middle of the lane, so they did see that D-Stones was sticking around. Ready to go for another play. So didn't get the memo? Question mark. Just swashbuckling into the river, still being cold snapped up. XJ, he's kind of isolated and probably going to die here in exchange. Let's see, Ancients get him. Oh, he's scuttering out of there. Don't tell me he lives. Don't tell me he lives.
They have fissure. Oh, they don't have fissure anymore.
Alright, that'll do it. He didn't have TP anyway, so using gold's probably better than just wasting even more time there. It's a cooldown though, and they kind of need that for damage output.
Especially because this is not a cooldown from a support. This is the core hero that's used the spell right now to kill a support on the other side. So normally if it was a support hoodwink and you're like, I'm level 6 pre 10 minutes, it's not that big of a deal. However, Gogo not gonna have exorcism for a very long time. And they're actually going back onto Gogo. D-Stones right around him. Shackle Shot connecting onto the creep in the river. Easy kill for D-Stones. Oh boy.
Are you waiting for the Acorn Shot Shackle combination?
Ooh, yes. Yes. That is gonna be really fun. The Acorn Shot Shackle, Bushwhack Shackle.
Yeah.
Bushwhack Blood Rite, dude. That's gonna be a fun spell combination.
They had that against AA down bottom just a moment ago, I believe. What was last step?
He's about to die again, though.
Yeah.
They rupture him.
TPing out.
Blood Rite.
Oh! Doom. Alright.
Oh, Doom committed.
Could not get range
Flyby really didn't want to. Yeah. He would have preferred not to, but yeah. I guess you're not doing anything else with it. You're already so far ahead.
This is what you get.
Winning fights without it.
This is what you get for building a Midas with a blink. Just saying. Could have had the blink stomp. No, he had to use Doom. Anyway, look like in
middle lane.
Luna, a lot of trouble with the Shackle of Follow. And that's problematic, but Luna's still one hero for NG. That's been doing quite well, farming up the jungle very effectively here, top of the net worth. But on mid like that is not conducive to a good time. We should be alright as
Gogo though.
Gogo instead. Bushwhack misses though. He's stuck around actually. Bring up the high ground, looking for some more stuns. We'll find on Sugoku, maybe. He's juking and jiving. God that he has to run, and so far he's successful, but eventually he will be nuked down. It's all 5 heroes rotating around. Another Snapfire ultimate committed just for the Windrunner kill, and SAG, they're not done yet. They're just running into that rubber now with a Bushwhack and the Cold Snap combo. Rupture over Nea. Ooh, he's running. He's silenced on half health. MSU wants him. And okay, just gonna use the tornado rather than being Echo Slam for the moment. Another Bushwhack. The cookie in. On top of these stones, actually, Echo Slam connects on him and Bloodseeker. But the stick charges are there. You get the kill and they find a walk away for the time being. CJ. Another Bushwhack. Living life on the edge here. A lot of these heroes, but well, they're not falling off it just yet. Is there? I'm still alive, so it's not my internet this time. I think Snare disappeared. His camera just froze. Slightly unfortunate, so until he gets back, it'll just be me. I do apologize. Of course, Snare's a much more lovely voice to listen to, but it is what it is. On Sunday we had like every single tech issue you could imagine. At least the stream is stable this time around for the most part. Not too much Chinese server like yeah, there's XCJ. It's a bit of help here with Tornado EMP. Whoa, and okay. He was stunned so he could not turn. To actually get that final burst out, Guogo gets to live on the back of the stick as well. NG gets something without reprisal.
Middle tower is under attack.
Alright, what's he got? Surely he's bought something. That's the Blink Dagger before the Boots of Travel. I think that's the right idea. It's got the Blink 5 Snap Cookie. Just able to get some follow-up control or get somebody out. Squirrel, yeah. He's just been tanking so much crap here. It's actually ridiculous.
Double damage.
Bit unfortunate as well, since they told me that fiber was installed just recently, so maybe that's the issue. There's some snappers there with fiber. And there it is, right? It's such a big kill. Remember, that is the mid hero. Very problematic that one falls like that. No help whatsoever. Who is still running around? We'll be able to get the hoodwink here, presumably, as XJ goes for the D-Ward, the slow, and last right click there from Luna will do the trick. Flyby. What the hell are you doing here? BKB showing that one enough to do the double jackal here. Let's turn this around on the Luna. He's killing! That's what he's doing here. Hoi Hoi next on the list. Can get the jump down. The low ground. The Sunstrike on the money, but it's only level 1 or 2. So he still fights his time with a tornado afterwards. These stuns, what a guy. Okay, the Echo Slam though. They won't get some revenge and they'll find it undoing. BKB ascended between the Echo and another Mortimer's Kisses. They will get that at least, but very successful fight here. Rupture on Shackle. Sunstrike number 2 this time. Guoguo. They all have infused raindrops, but they're not really doing too much to help them live through these. Yeah, SAG is ramping up. I mean, 15 minutes in, already up 8k, 17-5. And it's only gonna get worse. I mean, look at this Doom. Obviously, he's gonna be top net worth now as, I don't know what you're doing here. White Chen, you're all alone!
I guess they took it personal. Don't cry for the likes of her.
How do you do it? You have no vision. You just walk out alone into mid, don't even have a tower there. And you just get caught by 3 different people and you just can't afford that. Stan, I've been talking about it. Like if NG have a good way out of this laning stage, then they have a very strong mid-game timing. But if that doesn't work, then of course the opposite will be true. The AG, they were the ones who had a good laning stage. Now they're the ones who can dictate the pace of the game, especially if NG keeps running into them like that for these free kills.
Hello, good sir.
Welcome back, Snare.
We just had a small drop, a small connectivity issue, but we have resolved it. We're back in. So, you know, with this, fortunately, we did have the ability to still witness the game. You know, cellular technology is great, but one thing that I was wondering while watching this game and hearing you give us the wonderful commentary is Neptune Gaming, now that they do have Blink Dagger up, right, for Waishin, and they do have him, like, I feel like they, at this stage in the game, right now, you just avoid fighting until you get BKB on Luna. But sadly, Dragon Drop, why is she not going BKB? Like, I can understand going for the Manta in this particular game, but you just, even though Doom is just gonna jump you and doom you anyway, he still doesn't have Blink Dagger just yet, so you have a little bit of time where your team can buy you a little bit more space. But also MXL feels like they are very desperate for defensive items. Look at this, Manta, Lincoln, BKB, everything.
All of the defense items, give me all of them,
You know that this is a symptom of when the game is going so poorly that you're like, I would literally do anything. Just give me any option.
Yeah.
As long as I can somehow find a way back into the game. But sadly, those options don't exist. But the rest of the team are trying to make that space by smoking out to Roche.
Tornado EMP connects onto AI. He does not have anything to contribute here. Tries to TP out, but MS with the BKB have no problems clicking him down. Gogo also fell.
Gosh.
And every single move that NG is trying to make is just being countered almost immediately. Yeah, we're talking about Doom not having a blink, but yes, Doom and Might is going, so it's not gonna be long until he has that, especially with this Roshan also going down.
Look how quickly they smoke on the side of SAG as soon as they take in the Aegis. They immediately want to go in for a fight, and they're gonna find one. Why shit? No, this is not the hero they can afford to lose. But hey, it's fine. Sacrifice Wee, kill him instead. You know, he can die. It's fine. Why Shen is just gonna abandon him?
Yeah, let him go this time.
Oh, game is hard. Game is hard. That was very difficult.
Son Goku's a desolator. What?
Okay.
I gotta make a screenshot of this actually for my friend who's also named Goku, by the way, and he also likes to play Windrunner, so I'll send that to him later.
Falcon Blade Deso. This is the new support Wind Ranger build. You just rush these items, dish out tons of damage. What's also really scary is just how little they do to Bloodseeker now that they've got BKB. Oh no, Luna. Luna, can she escape?
Can White-Chin escape?
Nope. Wai-Shen's dead. Somebody has to get sacrificed. You know, this is actually... Wai-Shen deserves this. You left Hui behind last time. Now it's your turn to get left behind.
The problem is, Wai-Shen is playing like a support Snapfire, but he's the core.
Yeah.
Keeps getting called out by himself like that.
Look where the farm is for this Wai-Shen Snapfire right now. Underneath the Wind Ranger even. Falcon Blade Deso is most like superior at this point. And they might find a good Echo Slam though. They get both supports. Okay. Goku bursts it down immediately. XCJ dies. But Hui in with the Rolling Thunder. Rupture immediately counters it. And now MS is on with the BKB. Runs down the Earthshaker. And will they look for more? I think they should be able to find more. They're going for Gogo. Got off the Exorcism Ghost, but this is just gonna get wasted in a second, my friend, as they get that kill as well. Everything just going south right now for the side of Neptune Gaming. And Luna, you know, she is alive, I guess. Committed Eclipse, I guess, but...
well, that's a good start, you know, being alive. Not something that a lot of his teammates, or her teammates, can say at this stage. Mantis off the cold snap, and actually turning quite a bit of damage around on these stones, but there's no way to keep on top of them through this ice wall. These bounces doing a lot of work.
Yeah, just doing crazy amounts of work right now. That's the only thing that is actually working out, really. Like, nothing else is going their way. MXL still committed to this full defensive route, but I don't think the rest of Sparking Arrow Gaming care. Like, they're just playing, they're doing whatever they want. Look at Son Goku. Wanted to go Blink Dagger, but he's like, why? Let me just buy BKB. Speaking of BKB, it's triggered by Flyby. They see MXL. Oh no, they found the Doom. They get the shackle shot. And despite the attempt at defense, Luna finally gonna get brought down. AAE ran down by MS. Double kill for this Bloodseeker. There is a Rolling Thunder on the back of the fight, which means that MS is isolated here inside the base, but he has an Aegis, and BKB healing off of these hero kills, getting a triple kill, allowing Hui Hui or Wai Shen to survive, but now they're gonna come back for Hui Hui. They're looking for this Ultra. Well, come on, Flyby.
That would have been a Sunstrike kill. Come on, man. GG, they're just calling it. Yeah, I mean, this was only gonna go one way. 13-7, 22 minutes into the game, and well, I think this game didn't last as long as the break between game 1 and game 2 did, which is slightly unfortunate.
You're right, actually.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
But we did see this coming, right? We literally spoke about what we were expecting here, and the fact that we're not going to be really expecting a game where they have the opportunity really to utilize any of these spells, to utilize the team, right? Only one hero that's supposed to all be congregating around in this Luna. However, that just makes her a big Doom target. And even if she's either with the team and getting doomed alone, or she's not, and then Wai Shen is the obvious Doom target because they're not going to do anything from this Bloodseeker with this Earthshake in the off lane, given how hard the game was thanks to the Bloodseeker. They're not going to be able to get anything done with the DP. You know, we were talking about the first 2 DP. Oh, great. They have a hero that can play around to push towers. But when she's a 5 position, that's not going to happen. Now your only option to push buildings is this Luna, but Luna's not having a good enough game to survive anything. Just anything. Nobody could survive on the side of Neptune Gaming. And I think it tells us a lot about the game that the scoreline was 37. You know, oftentimes I don't really like talking about the kill scores. I don't think it matters that much. But in this game, it really did. They couldn't do anything drag and drop. Literally nothing that they wanted to do that the draft is picked for could be accomplished by this lineup.
Yeah, again, we were talking about, they need to have a really good early game, but they didn't. Just look at this. This is how the attempts went, and this is the second time around where these stones gets to live. Wai Shen misses that Scanner Blast, which might have been enough to put him over the edge, but that's plenty of time. They chased him for so long that MS got to rotate around. These stones then gets that solo kill. Yeah, sometimes they got XCJ here, but even that took some doing. Also, few and far between those.
I think they ended up.
Yeah, Flyby just turns around with BKB.
It never comes for free. Look how
first one. Yeah.
Yep. And the first big Doom onto Luna. You know, she's thinking, oh wait, great, I'm gonna get this Eclipse.
Yeah,
down, but
it
doesn't end up mattering.
It was level 1 exhaust at that point. I was hyping it up a little bit too much there. But, it's good to land it, you know. It's always nice. They do get the counter kill here, but again, few and far between these kind of situations. This fight with the EMP connecting on Earthshake, he's just taking out the fight. And like we said, any one of these pieces, if they're gone, there's just nothing else they can do.
Yeah. Whole team needs to be alive. We could do nothing. He just gets awed by MS. It's actually kind of weird to me now that I think back on it that they decided to, when they played the Earthshaker, like, and they moved the Pango to a support. Like, I think one of the biggest mistakes is that they put both of those heroes down bottom against Bloodseeker, allowing him to have a free game and then a free counter game against both of them. Wai Shen, you know, it's really weird, right? Sometimes we see some of these Morty's cases or a Fire Snap Cookie, then we remember this is supposed to be the core Snapfire, and practically no damage came out of him at all. Wasn't really able to impact the game. MS is just free to run. And look at this chase. Activates BKB. The only reason he turns is because their team says, hey man, here's a free kill on Death Prophet. Yeah. Don't dive the tier 4s. And he's like, okay, fine. I'll come back. I don't have to dive the tier 4s. But the game ends minutes later anyway. And then he still had Aegis. If he wanted to, could have made that dive. It wouldn't have mattered. We'll just come back to life, full HP, and say, sweet, let's go again. And they had the ability to always go again. I think it's also worse for them on the side of Neptune Gaming that they had such long cooldowns for their big ultimates. 110 seconds on Morty's Kisses, 120 on Eclipse, very long cooldown on the Exorcism Ghost of 130. It's not an easy game to be able to accomplish when every single time when you're going in, you know that if you fail, you're spending the next 2 minutes doing nothing. And with a lineup that has a hard time doing anything to begin with, it was never going to be a recipe for success.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, Neptune Gaming continued their losing streak, another 0-2 in the books for them. SAG, though, getting the points that they are looking for. I mean, they beat CDEC, they beat NG now, and again, they did end up losing against, what was it? Shenzhen.
I think they lost to Shenzhen and was it YBB that they lost to? Was it Extreme? No. It was Extreme. Let's see. Oh, Team Magma. Yeah. How could we forget Team Magma? Shout out Team Magma.
Yeah, Shenzhen and Magma are two very strong teams. We can just reiterate what we said before. Like this bracket for the most part very competitive. Unfortunately, Neptune Gaming not living up to this level of competition right now. 0-6. They have one matchup against CDEC tomorrow morning. Or like first game tomorrow. Of course, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon for the teams themselves. But yeah, maybe they can get a game or two there. CDC is also not doing too hard, but CDC have yet to play the majority of their matches. But yeah, that's us done for the day. There's gonna be 2 more matches though, starting in about an hour from now, and it'll be Extreme versus YBB, and then CDC versus Aries, Aster.Aries afterwards, and that'll be Ricky and Neff bringing you those live from wherever they are, the US and Canada. We're very international here in this broadcast, if you thought about it, you know. But yeah, Snare, any last words for the people?
For the people, 3 last words, or 3 things to say, right? Firstly, you know, as much as all of us have been watching Neptune Gaming getting creamed week in, week out, at the end of the day, remember that these are still players, they're still humans, and the difficulties on the field doesn't necessarily reflect onto them as people. So, you know, don't hold it against them, any of you Neptune fans out there, and especially you Neptune bettors. You know, remember that you must be kind to other human beings. Remember to be kind to yourself, to those around you. Call up the people in your life. Let them know you love them. Specifically say the words, I love you. Drink some water. And make sure every single game, if you play Dota 2, you get into the all-pick lobby, your first ban every game, ban techies, we never want to see him. Send your submissions to Valve to have him removed from the game. And of course, remember to follow Perfect World Esports so that you're abreast and aware of everything happening. And follow Dragon Drop, did a stellar job today, you know, shout out to the homie. Y'all have no idea the challenges to make sure that this broadcast went as well as it did, so he made sure that it was possible. So make sure you follow him on Twitter and give him all your love in chat.
Thank you very much, Snare. As wholesome as always, but yeah, he's absolutely right. Go follow us, follow everybody, follow PWRD_esports and PWRD Dota 2 on Twitter, as well as check out dpc.pwesports.cn, the website where you can have all the information you could possibly want or need on the Chinese DPC. So with these last words, we say thank you and goodbye. Stay tuned for the next game in about an hour or so with Ricky and Neff.
看了一下，就跟那个 VG 的那个语音包呀，挺好。我们自己的都不知道能不能，就是我们录了，但是不知道能不能过。对啊，就不知道选哪一条呀。挺好玩的。还没买，好吧？学的时候学。 先逛逛一下，逛一下。是的，好。